next company on the show is Galaxy Surfactants. While the bottom line saw a 46% jump this time around, the margins expanded as well, but the top line saw a degrowth of nearly 5% compared to last year. Let's discuss the factors at play with Mr. U Shekhar, the managing director of the company. Hi, Mr. Shekhar. Good afternoon, and thanks a lot for joining us. Degrowth on the top line. Some of the analysts also call your company a quasi FMCG company because you cater to home and personal care segment. And we've been talking how there is consumption slowdown, though challenging that environment. A couple of these FMCG companies have put up a decent show. Was the top line growth impacted because of subdued demand from these companies?
See, the top line growth, particularly in terms of the revenue, is dependent on the raw material prices. You see, we have grown on volumes. For this quarter, we have grown. Overall volume growth has been about 10.2%, aided by 11.2% on performance surfactants and specialty ingredients at about 8.8%. But the raw material lauryl alcohol has been on multi-year lows. The lauryl alcohol today rules at approximately $1.04 to $1.1, which is really one of the lowest, or not possibly the lowest, in the last maybe 10 years or so. So and the selling prices are in a way linked to the raw material prices. And that's although we have grown on volumes, you see, in terms of revenue, you see a decline.
Okay, and so you mentioned 10% volume growth for the quarter gone by. Is that the performance? Is that the number one can also expect in the second half, or it can be better than this?
Yeah, overall, for the entire year, we expect the volume growth to be anywhere between 6 to 8%. What has happened, of course, is that Egypt has come back on track after almost 4 declining quarters. I think Egypt has come back on track. The local Egypt, we have grown by almost 29% year on year. And overall for Egypt, Galaxy Chemicals Egypt, it has been a growth of about 17% or so year on year. So Egypt has come back, and we are also doing well on rest of the world. We continue to keep the momentum in rest of the world, aided by the trend towards premiumization and where our specialty ingredients find use in a very significant way. We have been doing good amount of work for the last almost 3 to 4 years, and we are seeing the results of all those work now. So we expect the momentum on specialty ingredients to continue in the second half too. We do expect Egypt to continue the momentum. As far as India is concerned, India has seen possibly a 7-year low in terms of rural growth. The overall growth for the FMCG sector has been about 7%, and for the home and personal care industry, even a little lower. So we expect the challenge to continue as far as local India is concerned for the balance part of the year. We have seen some marginal recoveries, and we do hope that this particular recovery is maintained. So we do expect overall for the entire year a volume growth compared to last year of about 6 to 8%.
Would you believe, we were speaking to one more company which had seen that revenue degrowth, Mr. Shekhar, good afternoon, and they mentioned, I think, similar tones about how the pass-through of some of the lower raw materials resulted in volumes looking okay, but overall revenues looking soft. My question to you is, sir, that your margins have gone up, and I presume that must have been because of various factors, including cost management and value-added products. Would that be the focus, since you have a steady state 6 to 8% volume growth, that margins would now improve from where they are right now?
Yeah, when the selling prices, raw material selling prices or raw material purchase prices go down, you do see in terms of pure percentage, the margins as a percentage of top line, going up. And of course, this also will be aided by the increase in growth of specialty ingredients, which a tempo has been maintained and a momentum has been maintained.
Mm-hmm. So would you believe, sir, that the steady state EBITDA margin performance would be northwards of 13%, maybe 13.5% for the foreseeable future?
So I would say in terms of pure per ton, we would be anywhere from 15,000 per ton to 17,000 per ton. That is the range that we have been. for the last almost many quarters, and we would be in that range. So the percentage will depend upon, as I said, the top line, and the top line depends upon raw material prices. They keep, because there is a good amount of volatility. And of course, I should say that, as far as raw material cost is concerned, we haven't seen much volatility, particularly the last almost 12 months is concerned. It has been on a downward trend. And as of now, it is possibly at multi-year lows in terms of the raw material price. Yeah.
Okay, just a word on your two segments. That's the specialty care products, which contributes nearly 40% to your bottom line. How did the performance pan out for both surfactants as well as specialty care? And do you see the contribution going ahead from specialty care increasing to your top line?
Yeah, I think specialty will continue to grow. As I said, this quarter we saw a performance surfactants growing at about 11.2% and specialty at about 8%. Overall, it was about 10.2%. We expect both the categories to grow because we, at least as far as the emerging markets is concerned, out of, and India constitutes one of those. India will continue to be a growth story, barring, I do believe that, I would like to believe that this is a temporary phase for India because the forecast for India, when I talked about it last year, was that for the next about 8 years, the forecast for home and personal care industry was a pessimistic 9% and an optimistic 12%. So I do hope that whatever muted growth that we are seeing now is a temporary phase, and we should see the back of this, very soon.
Sir, can you leave us with the guidance with regard to full year top line and bottom line growth? And of course, on the margins, can you sustain the ones that you've posted in this quarter of 13.5%?
I should expect it to be there. So as far as the full year is concerned, we do expect a volume growth overall of about 6 to 8% compared to the last year. We would expect possibly the same mix between performance and specialty ingredients. That is where we would be. And we should expect the momentum of the first 6 months to continue.